Hi, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. Happy Friday. So exciting to get through the week, and the weather is warming up here in DC, or I'm right outside of DC in Arlington, Virginia. If you're joining me for the first time, I am an immigration attorney. I am located right outside of Washington, DC in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients, however, are all around the United States. So they are kind of spread out all throughout the United States. And that's because immigration is considered a federal practice. And that means that our clients don't necessarily have to be where we are located. We can represent clients anywhere inside the US and outside the US. We practice only immigration law. We don't do anything other than immigration, but we do represent we do represent clients in a whole array of immigration issues and immigration cases. So we help with family-based cases where a family member is sponsoring their spouse or their children or their parents. We also represent companies that are sponsoring people for H-1Bs, for green cards, and other types of visas. We represent individuals that are doing investment-based visas. So we really have a whole breadth of clients. We do everything under immigration, but our firm only does immigration law. So if you would like our help, if you'd like to talk to us about your case, about how you might qualify for a visa or a green card, we get these questions a lot. We hold consultations. For those that have never heard of a consultation, never talked to an attorney before, a consultation is really an opportunity for you to understand your options. So we'll ask you questions. You don't need documents. Sometimes people kind of put off doing a consultation because they think they need a whole bunch of documents and they're waiting to gather those documents. You actually don't really need that many documents. The question that I have is usually you can be answered off the top of your head. And they don't have to be exact answers or exact dates for the most part. But just a general ballpark, and we can give you an idea of your options just based on your experience, based on your form of entry, based on whether you've maintained status or not maintained status. And the way we work, we are doing them by Zoom or we're doing them by phone based on your preference. So call us and let us know when you schedule the consultation. Let us know how you would like us to run that consultation. We schedule them for 30 minutes, but to be honest, I often go over 30 minutes. And sometimes, like today, for example, someone had a very complex immigration question, something that I don't come across normally. So we actually scheduled a second consultation at no cost, and I went through the different things that I thought he might be eligible for. We researched it, and then we had a second consultation at no charge, just to be able to go through his options. And in fact, I think he is going to be signing up with us. But anyway, so a consultation is really an opportunity for you to understand your options, understand to have your questions answered, and there may be things that you are not thinking of that would be important. That would be important to know. So anyway, call our office if you want to schedule a consultation. We're at 703-348-1663. Again, I don't think it actually shows up on TikTok, but 703-348-1663. I'm on both TikTok and Facebook right now, so feel free to hop on whichever platform works for you. Hi, Sunny. Sunny says hello. Sunny is a longtime fan. Nice to see you. Happy Friday. Hi, Shiva. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Delwinder. Hi, Princess Farana. Hello, Rena. Hi, Sanjay. Hi, Carlotta. Hi, Maddie. So this is really an opportunity for you to ask your questions, and I will answer them the best as I can. Obviously, in a consultation, it's going to be more one-on-one, more focused on you, and I'll be able to ask follow-up questions, which are not always so easy to do on social media, but I will do my best to answer your questions. Just know that they're not privileged, and everything that I'm saying can't really be considered legal advice, because I need probably more information about your case to be fully able to advise you. But if you want to call us, if you want to schedule a consultation, we're at 703-348-1663. Delvinder says, hello, ma'am. Today, my friend's green card status is updated. USCIS needs additional evidence. What does that mean? So that means, essentially when you apply for a green card, or apply for anything, right? Anything with USCIS, you submit your application. Sometimes they need additional evidence, meaning, let's say you're applying for a marriage-based green card. I'm just giving you an example here, okay? So let's say you're applying for a marriage-based green card and you submitted the marriage certificate, right? But they want to see that you're actually really married, that it's not just for immigration purposes. So they may say, we need additional evidence to show that your marriage is real and not just for immigration purposes. So this is just an example that I'm giving. And so they may issue a request for evidence that has a list of things that you could possibly give them to show that your marriage is real. And those will be examples like joint bank account statements, joint credit card statements, photos of you guys together, statements from friends or family that have spent time with you and know that you are together, wedding photos, expenses of, paying for a wedding. So all of these different things, they'll give you examples of the types of things you can submit. But essentially, it's not necessarily bad. It means that your initial application was kind of missing some things, and what they want to see, they just want some more information. So it happens sometimes, but if you use a lawyer, it can be kind of reduced because we file these cases all the time. We kind of know what they're looking for. We know how to organize it so it stands out. The important things stand out to them. So using a lawyer sometimes will cut down on things like a request for evidence, but sometimes it happens even if you use a lawyer. So it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you won't have a request for evidence, but it could cut down on the chances. Some case types, like for example, like an H-1B visa, almost always will get an RFE. Not all the time, but it's very common. It's not uncommon to not get an RFE for something like an H-1B. Let's see. I hope that answers your question, Dalvinder, but I wouldn't panic. Your friend will be getting something in the mail. Hi, Hina. Oops, we have a whole bunch of people here. Hi, guys. Hi, Rick. Hi, Amishi. Hi, Bilga. Hi, Crystal. Tanu says, how does it take to get work authorization, travel visa? I am a U.S. citizen and my husband is F1. So if you're a U.S. citizen, if your husband is on F1, that means he's a student. So student visas are F visas. If you're a U.S. citizen, you can potentially sponsor your husband for a green card. And once you sponsor for that green card, you will be, you can also apply for work authorization and travel authorization. If your husband is already here in the U.S., which he probably is, if he's on an F1, you would get a work authorization and travel authorization in about 6 months until he gets the green card. So he can continue to renew that until the green card gets approved. But it does take a little bit of time and it's not automatic. So you do have to apply for both work authorization and travel authorization. Okay, hope that answers your question, Danu. You said you applied 4 months ago. So I would say 6 to 8 months. 6 to 8 months. All right, Dalvinder says asylum based. Okay, well, they're just requiring more evidence and they will tell you, Dalvinder, what exactly they think is lacking. If you want our help, asylum is something I would say you don't want to do yourself. So if you don't have a lawyer, I think your chances will be stronger if you have a lawyer, because the lawyer can understand what is required to qualify for asylum, and they can help you get the evidence that you need to support your case and submit that. Okay, and the lawyer will also, if you retain the attorney to come to the interview also, so we can prepare you for the interview and we can also come with you to the interview. So there may be some benefits to working with an attorney, especially in an asylum case. If we can help you, give our office a call. We are at 703-348-1663. Ralph, hello. Someone is saying, what is an NOID? NOID. A NOID is a notice of intent to deny. So that stands for notice of intent to deny. So an NOID is issued when the government thinks that your case is unlikely to be approved, that you have not submitted enough evidence, or it may be an issue of fraud. They will tell you in the NOID what they think the problem is, and they give you an opportunity correct that problem by submitting additional evidence or clarifying maybe a misunderstanding that the government might have. So an NOID is a little bit scarier than a request for evidence. A request for evidence gives you more time to respond. NOIDs usually only give you 30 days or so to respond to it. And that means that we intend to deny this case unless you provide more evidence to address the points that we're raising here. So I would definitely, if you got an NOID, if you can, if you have the budget to work with an attorney, I would definitely think very hard about working with an attorney if you're not already doing so, to kind of strategize about how best to fill in any gaps in your application, to get it approved, to basically increase your chances to get that application approved as soon as possible. If you'd like to call us, we're at 703-348-1663. We are located right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington, Virginia, but our clients are all throughout the United States. And this is because immigration is federal, so we don't need to be located where our clients are, but still we join you for interviews. Still we prepare you for interviews if they're required in your case. Okay. All right. Hi user. Hi Baidam. Hi Ashmini. Oh, one more question here. Any inside scoop on the backlog for EB cards, so employment-based green cards? I wish I had an inside scoop. No, but I know that that's something that the administration is looking at, to kind of work through the backlogs. And so maybe we will see some changes. Maybe we'll see some new legislation come into place. Again, new legislation takes a bit of time to get approved, and the proposed bill, the Biden administration's proposed bill, is still only that. It is proposed, it is promising, and it really does offer a lot of benefits for many people who are undocumented in the U.S., but we don't know what the final law is going to look like, but we will keep you posted on any changes, on any benefits that you might be able to receive. In the meantime, feel free to call us. We're at 703-348-1663, and we can do a consultation with you. And based on the current law, I would love to tell you how you might qualify. But if you have the backlog on the EB cards, I wish I could tell you honestly if there was an inside scoop. I hope that they move along faster, especially Amish, from people from India, right? We're very, very backlogged there. Hi, Mark. Hi, Sherpa. Owen Kasaria says, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Great. So go ahead and type your questions in, and I'd be happy to answer them. Again, obviously, they are not confidential. However, if you want to have a one-on-one consultation with me, kind of like this, but just me and you, we can talk through Zoom or we can talk by phone. If you're local, we may be able to meet in person as well. Again, I'm in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients are all throughout the U.S. You can give us a call at 703-348-1663. Someone is asking, are you on WhatsApp? I am not on WhatsApp, but I'm on Facebook. I am on TikTok. So feel free to message us, and you always call our office. You can check out our website, which is Agarwal immigration.com. So Agarwal is Agarwal immigration.com. You can contact us through the website. You can send us an email. You can go on Facebook and message us. You can talk to me on TikTok. So there's many ways to get in touch. So I'd be happy to assist you and schedule a consultation if you would like to meet with me one-on-one. Sunny on Facebook is asking, how long does USCIS take to respond to a written inquiry if I submit an inquiry to VAWA? So usually, the written inquiries aren't. I'm not sure if you did it online or if you mailed something in, Sunny. So usually you can get a response in about a month. They have an online submission. You can send that in. They also have a VAWA hotline. You can call the VAWA hotline to inquire about your case. But they will get back to you. You can always call and see what the status of your case is. If we can help you, give us a call. We're at 703-348-1663. Someone says, is it a free consultation? It is not a free consultation. We charge $150 for the consultation. It is 30 minutes. It's one-on-one. To be honest, I don't actually put a time limit on it. If we need to talk more, we talk more. If we need to follow up, we follow up. But it really is an opportunity for you to really understand your options and to just come up with a plan on how to get you work authorization or how to get you status if that's feasible for you, and what's involved, to understand the timeline, to understand all the fees involved and the documents involved. So there's a lot that goes into a consultation, and most people find it very, very beneficial. So feel free to call us. Again, it's 703-348-1663. Leah is asking for our Facebook name. So everywhere we are Agarwal Immigration. So it's AGARWAL Immigration. So that's our website, agarwalimmigration.com. TikTok handle is Agarwal Immigration. Facebook, same thing, Agarwal Immigration, at Agarwal Immigration. So you will see us. And our firm is called Agarwal Law Group. All right, someone says stay safe. So Thanu, I'm not sure, I don't remember what your process is, but it is not. Someone just asked, is it a free consultation? It is not a free consultation. It's $150 for the consultation, but it is 30 minutes and it's one-on-one time to really go through your full case. You will understand all of your options, the timeline for that, the pricing that's involved, both the government fees and anything else you might need, like fingerprints. Sometimes you need fingerprints for your cases. So you will get a good sense of that. You will get a good sense of the timeline. You would get a good sense of your eligibility for different options. So some people come to me and they think they're eligible for something and they're not. Right? Some people have filed applications that they're not eligible for something, but they end up actually being eligible for something wholly different. So that's happened to us, more often than one would expect. And we've been able to help people and tell them about options that they had no clue that they even may be eligible for. So the consultation is something that you might really, really benefit from. So call us if you don't have status, especially, we might be able to help you. Excuse me, I'm like stumbling on my words. Our phone number is 703-348-1663. Ashmini is asking, how long does VAWA take? So VAWA, the whole thing, right? So VAWA, for people that don't know what that is, stands for Violence Against Women Act. It is a way for people to self-petition for their own green card because they're a victim of abuse. And this abuse does not need to be physical all the time. If there is physical abuse, we can use that as well, but it can be emotional abuse. It can be psychological abuse. There's many different forms of abuse. But if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or if you have a child who's 21 over and a U.S. citizen, you may qualify for this, for VAWA. It's a self-petition based on abuse. And it doesn't have to be the way you think of abuse necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to be physical violence. It can be emotional, psychological. If you're having trouble, if you don't know if you qualify, you can certainly call us and we can let you know whether this might be an option for you. So Ashmini asked, how long does VAWA take? So the whole thing, this is a way for you to get a green card, right? So the whole thing takes about 2 to 2.5 years to get a green card, but you'll start seeing benefits pretty early on in the process. So once you apply, in about 2 to 3 months, you will get, if you qualify, of course, once you apply, in about 2 to 3 months, you will get what's called a prima facie determination. And this means that the government has looked at your case and they think that, yes, you're a victim of abuse. Yes, you are married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or you have a child who's 21 or over and a U.S. citizen, and you qualify. So they kind of pre-qualify you. That's what the prima facie determination means. And that alone will protect you until they've reviewed the application in full. So that happens usually 2 to 3 months after you apply. So you get that and you're protected. So if you get a speeding ticket, if you encounter If you encounter immigration, if you encounter the police, you're protected. So that gives you peace of mind really in about 2 to 3 months. And that is a huge benefit for people that don't have status at all. They feel much more comfortable. You can sometimes get a driver's license with just that as well if you don't have one. In about 6 to 8 months, you would qualify for a work permit and travel authorization as well. So you get work authorization in about 6 to 8 months after you apply. In about a year to a year and a half, you would get what's called deferred action, which means that you can live permanently in the U.S. because you qualify for VAWA. You can live permanently in the U.S. and you can continue to renew your work authorization based on that. And then in 2 to 2.5 years, you would be eligible for a green card. So this is the traditional VAWA process. This is the whole time frame for the whole thing. Everyone has different issues. Everyone, for some people that may be in removal proceedings, the timeline might look different. For some people that have multiple illegal entries, that might look different for them. They might not qualify ultimately for the green card. But this is the general process. It's a huge benefit for people if they're victims of abuse, if they entered illegally, if they're out of status, if their spouse will not help them apply for a green card, if their child is abusive towards them emotionally, psychologically. Again, physical abuse is not a requirement of VAWA. Right? So many people don't realize they're being abused. They don't even realize that they're a victim of abuse. So if you're married to a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, or if you have a child who's 21 or over and a U.S. citizen, you may be able to qualify. So call us because the benefits really are huge if you qualify. My name is Pratibha Agarwal. We handle VAWA cases quite often at our firm, and you can reach me at 703-348-1663. Hi, Ethan. Nice to see you. I got a bunch of questions here. Let's see. All right. Amanda says, if you're married to an American citizen and he never, I think you got cut off there. I don't see the rest of your question. If you're married to an American citizen and he never, why don't you put in your question again if you're still on? I would love to see what it is, and I'll try to answer it. Okay. Hina says, how do I know if I filled out Form I-130 if it's approved or not? You'll get an approval notice. You can check your case status online, USCIS case status, just Google it, and it will tell you. You can put in your receipt number. So remember, anytime you file a case, usually within 3 to 4 weeks, you will get a receipt notice, and that essentially has a number for you to check that case status online, and you'll be able to tell what the status of it is, if it's still being reviewed, if they've issued a request for additional evidence, if you're being fingerprinted. All of those things will come up, and then you will also be able to tell if it's approved or not, but you will receive an approval notice in the mail. Okay. Kamara says, I've already done my fingerprints for naturalization, but the waiting time is 23 months. How can I early naturalize? Unfortunately, there's no expedited option for naturalization. If you're abroad, if you have a spouse that worked for the federal government and you guys are abroad, you may be able to qualify in different ways for expedited naturalization. But unfortunately, once it's filed, and if you're here in the U.S. and you're kind of moving forward with the traditional naturalization application, there's no way to expedite that. 23 months is kind of a long time. I always bring this up. I bring this up a lot, and people aren't, really excited about it per se. But if it's 23 months is kind of a long time for naturalization. So one option, whenever your application is pending for a really long time, you can sue the government to make a decision on your application. So that is always an option if it's been pending a really long time. And what you're doing is forcing the government to make a decision. You are forcing them to make a decision, not necessarily a good decision, a strong or positive decision in your favor, right? But if you have a strong case, most likely it will be in your favor, but you're requiring them to make a decision because by law, they are required to make decisions on applications in a timely fashion, in a timely way. So they have to be efficient. They're required to be efficient. So if they're not, you can sue them and push them along. It doesn't impact at all the merits of your application. So if you're waiting for a long time, like 23 months for naturalization, I think that's a long time. Our cases are getting kind of adjudicated. Naturalization cases are getting decided within a 1-year time frame. So this is kind of a long time. But you can certainly call us and we can talk through the options together. I'm at 703-348-1663. My name again is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration lawyer and I help clients all throughout the US. Okay. Let's see. Some Wase is saying, I meet all the DACA requirements, but came a little after 2007. Any waivers for that? Unfortunately, no, but you may qualify for something else. Call us and we can assess what you might qualify for. I talked to somebody today who tried to apply for DACA, who missed it just by about 6 months or so. He literally missed a couple of different things for him in about literally 6 months or 1 year. He missed the cutoff. So we're doing something else for him that he's eligible for called a U visa. He's a victim of a crime. But if you if this is something, if DACA is not an option for you, call us because something else may be an option for you that could lead to a green card, that could lead to citizenship ultimately. And I would love to talk to you about that. I am at 703-348-1663. Let's see. Ashmini says, thank you. You're welcome. I'm getting questions kind of 2 times. I don't know if there's an issue with TikTok, so sorry about that. Let's see. Hi, Amrit. Hi, Preeth. Hi, Gurpreet. Hi, Roshan. Let's see. Hi, Yathan. How are you? I'm doing well. Gurpreet asking, is Virginia court open or closed? Frankly, I actually don't know right now. I think it's open. I'm pretty sure it's open, but I don't know off the top of my head. You can check the EOIR website. We haven't had any clients in court right now, so we have not had to go. If you married a U.S. citizen and he never did your I'm assuming your green card or your green card application. So your question is cut off again, Amanda. I'm so sorry. You said if you're married to a U.S. citizen, he never did yours. So I'm assuming your green card application. Yes, you may be eligible to apply for yourself, right? If you're married to a U.S. citizen and he never filed for your green card, there is a possibility that you may be able to apply for yourself on your own without your spouse. This is based on the relationship. This is based on the problems in your marriage. In that way, if your spouse is, for example, using his citizenship status over your head and not going to apply for you, if your spouse is controlling, there may be ways for you to qualify on your own without your spouse to do a petition, to do a green card without them at all. Call our office to see if you are eligible. We are at 703-348-1663. And with this, once we file in about 6 to 8 months, you would get work authorization and travel authorization. You would also get a green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. And this can be done without your spouse if you qualify. So call us to see if you qualify. Again, we're at 703-348-1663. So Mac is saying, I'm married to a citizen. Is it good to wait 2 years to file to get a 10 years green card? So so if you are married to a citizen and your marriage is less than 2 years long, you will be issued a 2-year green card. And then you can remove those conditions and get a 10-year green card. Is it good to wait 2 years to file? Well, if you're out of status, it's best to be in status, right? Because that's the most safe, that's the most protected, that gives you work authorization. So if you're not in status, it's better to apply for a green card if you qualify. If we can help you, give us a call. We're at 703-348-1663. Kumara says, thanks a lot. You're welcome. Crystal, hi. Amanda, hi. I hope I answered your question. All right, great, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. I love chatting with you. I will try to be on this weekend to answer any questions. If you want to get notified when I'm on, I'm not usually regular about being on at the same time every day, but I do come on regularly. Amanda, I will answer your question in just one second. I do come on regularly, so follow me, follow Agarwal Immigration, and you'll be notified every single time that I am live, and you can hop on and ask your questions. Amanda just asked, what if he already divorced you and never put in for your green card application? So if your divorce was 2 years, like it was less than 2 years ago, so if your divorce was within 2 years of the time we filed for your application, you may still qualify. You may still qualify to apply on your own. This is going to depend on what your relationship was like, right? This is going to depend on what your relationship was like. So I will need to know a little bit about your relationship to see if you might qualify to self-petition for a green card without your spouse whatsoever. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Call our office. We're at 703-348-1663. Mac says, I'm in status now. Okay, well, if you're in status, you can wait if you don't want to apply for your green card based on your spouse. But you do, depending on what your status is, you may have more flexibility once you apply for that green card. Okay. Hi, Dinesh. Hi, Kevin. All right, friends, I am out. I am starting my weekend. Nice to see everybody here. I will see you maybe tomorrow and Sunday. Call our office if we can answer your immigration questions. Call our office if we can schedule a consultation for you. We're at 703-348-1663. And follow us on TikTok and Facebook. We're at Agarwal Immigration. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.